One. Hello, everybody! Avis Laura here again with another cosplayer interview session. Today, I'm interviewing
Shane Demink.
Shane
Captain
Demink.
Jack Sparrow.
It's nice to have you up on here, Shane. Or can I just call you Captain?
Oh, go for it, mate.
Alright, so Captain, I'm actually kind of curious, what brought you onto land today to actually be here? And on to what you do, can you give me some explanation on what brought you here besides, hey, I sent you a bottle with a note, but like, what got you into doing what you're doing now from as far back as you can remember to how it is now?
Well, I'm a frustrated out-of-work actor. I like to tell people that. And cosplaying is sort of a way to do that. Act. So that's... I've always liked Halloween and dressing up in costumes and whatnot. And this was just a great way to merge the two, and there you have it.
Okay. And like, out of all things that you've done in your life, were there things that inspired you doing what you're doing now? Being that it was a show, video game, somebody that introduced, was it a happy accident? Happy accident? What got it to that point?
I think it was just a happy accident. I just realized I had a lot of fun dressing up, and then I think about that time is when cosplay really started to take off.
Yeah.
And I saw other people doing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
I assume we liked Halloween.
Exactly. It's like practice, Halloween is practice for us,
Right. No, it's just we're getting ready. We're getting ready. Very
good.
And would you say in all your life, would you have ever thought what you'd be doing now? You would have thought, like, at a younger age that you'd be doing it?
Well, I was thinking at a younger age I would actually have been paid to be an actor and do it. So I don't know if I've come quite as far as I thought I was going to when I was a kid. But kind of. I've always wanted to act, so...
Yeah. And cosplay helps with that, honestly, doesn't it?
It does. It does, actually, yes.
Now...
And, I didn't know I'd be cosplaying. But dressing up and playing the character, though, that's not too far from where I want to be. So.
Right. Honestly, I think a lot of us wouldn't have ever thought cosplaying would have been in our life. We were just, I'm playing dress up. Now, are there actual things that you, besides Captain Jack Sparrow here, being what you are in, what other type of actual things that you've actually done at different conventions, meet and greets, charity stuff? Like,
well, I do donate time to a variety of charities that pop up, and they want cosplayers there for it, or openings for new businesses or whatnot, and they want to attract attention. I do conventions whenever I get the chance.
Yeah.
As far as cosplaying goes, that's the hope, is to do more of that. So
yeah. And then during the time of COVID, how was it before we all had the shutdown? And then as to what it is now, how did that affect your life?
I realized how much I actually miss doing it. Like, prior to, it was just sort of like, of course, this weekend I'm going to go do it. And then, like, a month later, something else pops up, and there I am again. And then when COVID hit, it was like, oh, fuck, that's it, you're done. That's it. And I'm like, well, that shut down for a fucking year. Now, is that it? And it's like, no, we're shut down for 2 years now.
Right.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? So, I guess it did give me time to brush up on a couple of pieces of the costuming that needed it, or work on something else. So,
yeah.
I guess that's a lemonade moment.
And financially, did it scrutinize any ideas or plans that you thought you were going to be actually doing at the time before COVID happened? Or how did it actually affect you financially during that time? Where, was it good, bad?
Financially, it was sort of like, well, the cosplaying is not probably the most important thing to be doing at the moment. It's just the definite shift in what needs to have money blown on, and versus what I'd rather have been doing with it.
Right.
And yeah.
It was the same thought pattern, like same thought process for myself as well at that time, because it's like, oh, there's no conventions, there's no way of making money, and the people who are spending money on cosplay, it's like I at one point said that this is not important right now, and I need to make sure priorities came. Simply like you're saying as well, and it's like I feel you on that one, honestly. But
Exactly.
at the time, did you have fun like catching up on shows, gaming, trying to actually go to parks and be like, I'm breaking the rules, social distancing is not a thing?
No, but I did actually finish writing a book.
Oh.
Editorial. Been working on some videos for my YouTube channels and whatnot. So I did keep busy, even if it wasn't necessarily cosplay related.
Yeah.
I was able to still work on things that I did want to work on, and then I found myself with extra time to do it. So.
Okay, and then
why not?
you were saying a book that you were working on that you finished. Could you tell the audience and myself as to what the book was that you were working on, or now is finished?
Yeah, it's book 3 in a series of books I'm writing.
Oh, so you got multiple.
Exactly, and it's basically like it's an urban fantasy thriller sort of thing.
Dude, you got some audience members that are gonna be like, ooh, thriller, horror, suspense.
Yeah, it's sort of like this group of people that they all have like certain powers, like sort of like a D&D thing.
Okay.
There's a wizard and a holy knight and whatnot, and there's this ancient evil that some teenagers released into modern day and weren't real bright about it. And so it's these characters, the Chosen, that have been chosen by some force beyond what we know, and they're the ones that have to deal with it.
And this is all in just the first book, or is this leading all up through all 3 books?
It's we're introduced to who they are by the end of the first book.
Okay.
And then sort of follow what they're doing, and then how things are developing from what they're doing, and some of them are having to learn what they're doing. And there's a couple of characters that already sort of started out in this magic world, they sort of already know what's going on. And the 2 other ones don't. They kind of have to be kind of shown the ropes and whatnot.
And also, don't worry about time. If the interview goes for an hour, I'm completely fine with that, because definitely we got audience members saying here, we got Morpheus, the god of sleep. I like the Jack Sparrow cosplay, and honestly, it's a friend of mine, so he's like, he loves horror stuff. He wants to get into movie making himself as well. But yeah, no, he's honestly, that's much love from anybody in the chat. As Jack Sparrow said,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then
thank you very much.
For your second book, what are the books called, by the way? We didn't get a title yet.
The title of this series is The Chosen.
The Chosen.
And then each book is a different title, of course. So the first book is Twin Pines, which is where the story takes place at.
All right.
It's Twin Pines. It's basically take a bunch of people up to the campsite and kill them. I mean, you're not reinventing the wheel necessarily.
Oh, God!
That's sort of what happens in the first book. It's sort of like a little nod. If someone wanted to say it was a nod to Friday the 13th or whatnot.
I was going to say some Crystal Lake murder here, or like, hey.
I mean, you kind of already know going into it what you can expect. Now, it's not a copy, but you get the idea. And then the second book takes place in the city of New Haven. So, of course, the title of the book is New Haven. Okay. And now we're back in the city, and we're dealing with, like, a zombie horde marching onto the city, and just... And then we also get introduced to a detective who's having to deal with the fallout of this. Like, wait, these bodies are here, but they were dead before they were killed, and just, as a detective, it's not really matching up for him. So he's found himself thrown into this too, trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Jesus.
And then it leads up to a showdown between the villain and one of the Chosen, who maybe didn't choose so wisely to encounter with this showdown.
Oh.
But that one's Showdown in New Haven, which
I
like to keep simple that way. So that's the 3 so far.
Okay, so are you planning on with some more books to come out? Like, you don't need to say the titles, but how many books do you have more? How many more books are planned out for this series? Not sure. Like,
well, I'm starting the fourth one right now, and like, I'm just gonna keep going until it's done. So
that's actually really cool to hear.
Have it made into a movie, so.
Dude, honestly, from what I'm hearing right now, if done correctly, it isn't like, it's not giving me the feeling of like Percy Jackson and the Olympias.
No,
This is like something different.
Well, I always told people, like, when I first started out doing this, because I made an independent movie that was the script for the first book.
Oh.
So I have an independent movie that's actually the first book.
Oh.
And so I always told people that it was sort of like, if you liked the series Buffy, Supernatural, it's sort of like that. You know,
okay.
if you liked those, I think you would like this, or at least give it a look. See, you know,
right?
It's my thing.
I would say if you don't, the only way you know for sure if you don't like it, don't go by like episode stuff. It's truly that you need to sit down, hear from the actual person that can explain it the best as to nobody else can, because you're the creator of it itself.
Exactly.
And it's where you'll get bad and good feedback from other people, but truly it'll come down to more of, it has to be based off of your opinion. You can take the advice of people, but truly you have to take it as a whole with what multiple mixed reviews may be. But if you really want to sit down and talk to the original creator, some things are a little bit harder to get a hold of the person, like say, you know, Star Wars or Star Trek, something like that. but
no.
Yeah,
exactly right.
And then for people to actually also, we'll talk about where they can find it at the end. We'll go into that more in depth.
Definitely.
And then for the movie, is it something that's available, say, also online that they can look up?
It's on YouTube. It was, because it's an independent movie, it turned out better than I thought it was going to, but I would love to have the opportunity to redo it.
Okay. And then is it called The Chosen on YouTube?
So far, yeah, everything's on the YouTube channel and that. So,
and then
I'm working on a web series, but.
Okay. And then, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next section of the actual interview right here, where we're going to be getting into the cosplays that you've done. Where, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. I always have to put that OBS thing down. I see that you're Captain Jack Sparrow with a Jedi lightsaber right here. What got you to do this?
Oh, I thought it would make. I thought it would be an interesting crossover. Because there's just so many things Captain Jack gets into and gets away with. And I'm like, he's got to be using the Force at some point. That's really makes sense.
Honestly,
he's a wayward Jedi. So some people got it and some didn't. But I'm like, you know what? I had a blast with it. So
that's good to hear. And then with the lightsaber, is it just something like throughout your entire cosplays here? As to what you made, what did you do? Did you find stuff at a thrift store? But I mean, you still put everything together.
Actually, everything for Captain Jack except the hair, which I did actually do the hair too, the dreads. The sword and the gun are the only things I bought. Everything else I made.
Ooh, very nice, my dude. Very nice. And then
the thing with the Jedi costume, I made all of that. The lightsaber I did buy because it's easier.
It's easier.
I do plan on making one, but.
All right. And then we're seeing that you've got, where's the rum? You've got yourself right next by the Captain Morgan's. Hey, it's a good drink.
You have to.
You have to, honestly. Even if, like, say I was cosplaying Captain Morgan, I gotta have my rum, man.
There you go. You got to do it, mate.
And then we've got the Batman outfit. Now, tell me a little bit about, tell the audience about the Batman outfit that you've got here.
That was sort of the first take. I'm still working on a version that I'm much happier with.
Okay.
It was okay. It worked, but it didn't exactly hit all the things I wanted.
Right. We could always improve is pretty much what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's what that is.
Now, are you in the outfit, or is it just standing there like in a mannequin?
No, actually, that's me standing there like a mannequin.
You definitely like covered everything. Like I barely can even, when you say that and I look at the eyes area, I'm just like, okay, I see someone's in there because I see the boots. I thought it was just a cosplay there on like a stand thing. I'm like,
me.
okay. The dark.
Just for me, I didn't think it ever made sense that Batman wouldn't have a full face mask.
Right.
You know, like he's got some really crazy fucking villains, and they use poisons and
I want to be protected,
acid.
pretty much.
You know, so I'm like, you know what? I lean toward the full face mask.
All right. And then with the next one, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, I assume, or is this General Grievous?
It was just a Jedi in general. I wasn't really shooting for any specific one.
Okay.
Just
double lightsabers?
Yes.
Nice.
And they don't do much but just hang there, but...
Okay, and then you made the entire outfit as well?
Yes, I did.
Jesus, it's so good, dude. Honestly, like...
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm looking at the stitching right here, as well to how everything was hemmed and stitched. Very even, very good lapsed over. Now, with the belt, is it more of a faux leather, or is that actual leather?
No, it's a faux leather.
Okay. Because honestly...
Well, there's one picture that I've got an old leather belt on top of the wider belt. Okay. And the wider belt is faux leather.
Honestly, it's really well done. Very good on the sewing skills, my dude. Even if it's faux leather, it's still leather work where you can't really go back over it. So you gotta...
No, you don't get too many chances to fix it. So.
Nope. Not like fabric.
No.
And then we're going into the next one being a Doctor Strange. Now, did you make the Doctor Strange cosplay?
I did. I had a lot of leftover material, and I'm like, I just wanted to see if it's going to work, if it's going to look right. And I threw it together, and so now I guess I could say it's a Doctor Strange variant.
Right.
It's like a thing Marvel's doing now, so...
You could say it's sad Strange, it's depressed Strange, this is really weird Strange, this is Doctor Strange, stuff like that.
Exactly. So, but I do plan on doing one that's a bit more screen-accurate color-wise.
Nice.
But that was just a trial run for it, and I was happy with the way it turned out.
Now, when you're saying color-wise, are we talking about the cosplay, or, like, what are we talking about?
Well, like the cape, I would like it to be a little bit more red, and it's like the red at the top, and then black toward the bottom of the cape, and
okay.
And the tunic and the shirt is black instead of the dark blue that he was wearing in the movie.
Hey, it's his second costume color. Let's go with that.
Exactly. There you go.
But yeah, all of this was made like. Okay, can you go into details with the belt? What the materials you used here with? Like, where'd you find the stuff at?
I found most of the material at Joann's Fabric.
Coupons?
And I just bought it there. And the vinyl or the faux leather for the belt there, I'd have left over from a couple other projects I'd done. The belt buckle part of it was made out of foam, and then just glued on.
Okay.
So.
Hot glue? Yeah. Hot glue, epoxy glue. What type of glue are we talking about?
I used super glue.
Okay. Very
dope.
And
then it's held on by some of the strapping, so that kind of helps.
Very nice, my dude. The craftsmanship here is very, very up. Like, it's up there. And I'm like, he is definitely taking his time with the sewing and never rush anything. It's always do it picture perfect as much as possible to your liking.
Exactly.
All right, and then with the next picture, is this you and the Batman and another Jack Sparrow cosplayer?
No, actually, that's me in both positions. I just photoshopped me together with it.
Oh, okay. And I see this is
Captain Jack was my earliest picture of Captain Jack. I won a costume contest that year with it.
And it was at the Planet Comic Con?
Yes, it was.
Kansas City. What year was it?
It has to be somewhere like 2000 and... I want to say like 2012, 2011, something like that.
Like...
It's been a while.
That is... Wow. Even back then, that's still everything you made, I assume, correct?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Everything, even on this Jack Sparrow version right here, everything you made?
I made everything except the hat. I believe the hat's in that one. That I did buy, though I probably make one that's going to fit with all the dreads that I've got on now.
Right, and then all the belt buckles. All the belt buckles. We have to have so many.
The belt buckles and the belts and whatnot, yeah.
Now, with the belt buckles, with the metal parts, were those like light fixtures? Or...
Yes, they were. For a long time I used...
I'm noticing the little circles right there where I'm like, that looks like a light fixture. That's clever. I like that.
Yeah, it got me five. Now I made some other ones that are a bit more accurate, I think, in appearance.
All right.
And so it got me a long way.
Dude, that's clever. See, everybody, like, if you actually sit down and really just think out of the box sometimes for your things, you never know. Like, keep the scraps of things. Go dumpster diving.
Exactly.
But, like, make sure if you dumpster dive, get your tetanus shot.
Definitely. You saved about it.
Office Depot is a good place to go. Just saying.
In case you're wondering about that.
Right, and then we've got the Jedi with the lightsaber. Now, the lightsaber, this looks like a little bit more of a professional lightsaber, like up more of like, hey, this ain't like, you know, a Toys R Us type of like, swing.
It was one of them I got from, I believe it was Ultra Sabers that I got that one from.
They are a very good lightsaber source, and then...
Yeah, I've had no problem with them, so...
Honestly,
I do plan on making my own at some point, but...
Ooh. There is, recently going on to lightsabers, there is one being sold, and I didn't realize this was actually a thing, but at the time when Disney bought Star Wars, there's a Mickey Mouse lightsaber at a store, legit, copyright Disney, Star Wars, all the stuff, and it has Mickey's actual, like, Mickey Mouse symbol on the lightsaber all over it. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Mickey's a Jedi.
I can see that.
Honestly, just bringing that to a convention alone would be like, and I've got a Mickey Mouse lightsaber.
There you go.
And then for the last picture we've got right here, I see, is 1134 Cinema. Could you tell us about what this is?
That is my movie production company studio thing, and that's what I put out the Chosen, that's on YouTube.
So they can find this as what it says right here to type in.
Can.
Okay, so if everybody wants to go check out your video, or your movie, sorry, that was inappropriate for me to say. Your movie,
No, you do.
It's 1134 Cinema, all spaced.
You run it together and just it pop up on YouTube that way.
Okay, I got something later on to watch.
There you go.
And then how long is the movie?
The movie actually came in around an hour, I think, an hour and something.
All right, we're definitely going to be getting a link to that here later on, put into the description and everything. But yeah, usually now I'm telling people, hey, go ahead and send me like 10 to 20 photos. So that way we got like more to talk about, because it's like, I feel so bad when it's like such a short interview, but it's like, okay.
No.
And then
make it easy on the ways.
Hey, it's easy. It's easy for everybody at that point. But at the same time, do you have any other type of future cosplays that you plan on wanting to do?
Well, I'm planning on doing another Batman that I'm going to be happier with, I think. I wouldn't mind doing Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun, honestly. Now, are we going to go with the Disney version? Are we going to go with more of the Grim Tales version? Are we going to go with the live action?
I'm going with something that looks a little more live action, but I'm going to play with the costume in that from the Disney cartoon.
All right.
So I think it'll read that one without being a direct copy or anything. So it'll be interesting to see when it's finished.
And do you feel like you're going to do more makeup for the face for that, or is it going to be more like a face mask?
I'm thinking it might be actually a prosthetic piece that gets glued on. And
so like skin on skin action right there, folks. He's going to make sure he's really the Beast.
Right.
So on
Yeah.
things you would actually advise people doing, you got any advice for people on when they're getting into cosplay, new, old, any tips, tricks, all that fun stuff, be creative, etc.?
Yeah. Yes, I do. First, I would say just do it. Don't worry if you're going to be as good as the people you've seen online. A lot of them have been doing it longer, or they're behind. And I'm not knocking anyone for that. I'm just saying, as someone getting into it, do what you can with what you've got. See if you like it. If you like it, then you can always upgrade pieces, look for them, buy them, whatever. So that's one. Just do it. Don't worry about measuring up to anyone else. Just do it. And two, if you can, act the character. You will get people just. That's so. In my opinion, so important. Now, I'm not saying if you're cosplaying Superman, go try lifting a car. That's not what I'm saying.
Unless you that Jack, then we want to see it. Like, yeah, lift it, let's go.
Don't try that. But I have seen a few Superman cosplayers that walk around and they're kind of hunched over. I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be Superman, mate. You should be like chest up, like you're in a fucking room, you know? Yeah.
Sup?
You're Superman. You should own it. Listen to the theme song and then walk out there and do it.
Right.
But yeah, if you can act the part, I mean, people love seeing that. That's for me. That was part of it. Was actually being able to act the part.
I would say the cosplay could be really shitty, but acting the character itself, so much. It'll take that character that you're cosplaying so much farther. And then it'll encourage you to even do more work on other different characters, doing research, actually knowing what your cosplay. It's not as an insult. Yeah. Please do some research, just even a little bit, so you don't get asked, do you know who you're actually cosplaying? I hear, I don't know who it is. And I'm like, so why are you doing it?
Why would you do that? Don't know who you're doing.
Like, do it because you want to do it. If you're doing it for a group, put some actual, like, new to old. I've been doing it for over 10, going on to 12 years now. Please do a little bit of research.
Exactly. That's it. And because you get forgiven all these little sins about the costume not being perfect. If
we love it when we see the characters be the characters.
Exactly. And I think that's probably would be my biggest advice, other than not worrying about trying to measure up to anyone else.
Oh yeah.
Try to be the character.
Don't gloat saying, like, the biggest thing at one point when I first started, I said, like, I was the best Gamzee Makara type cosplayer back then, and it's just like, don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Don't just go with it. People appreciate it. They see that you're not bragging. It's just like, be chill about it. It's like so many more people appreciate that. But then you'll have the negative people saying, "Oh, you can't cosplay. You have to have money to be a cosplayer." I'm like, "No, you don't." No, you don't. Doesn't mean go rob a bank.
No, I've seen some pretty amazing ones that were all just thrift store finds.
Cardboard.
Like, yeah,
Cardboard does amazing jobs.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, just get in there and do it.
Right.
If you want to do it, just do it.
And see, anymore, would you say that we're more open to tell you how to make everything than versus years ago where people were like, hush, hush, don't tell them. This is my secret. I can't tell them. I'll lose money.
Exactly. So, like you said, so many people were trying to make money off of it. And that's always where I've got, like, a real problem with it, because, like, making money off of something is not your intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making an Iron Man costume, you're selling a piece of armor, which is fine, but it's Iron Man, so
you can get sued for that hardcore. And anymore, it doesn't mean like don't do it,
right?
But at the same time, just be cautious on certain things that you do. But don't be afraid of what you're doing. If some people I know are working for some of those big studios now because they were a cosplayer and they were doing it fun, and then they were contacted, and be sketchy about some stuff, of course, but please do the research on who's contacting. Like,
exactly.
Because you can be scammed.
Oh yes, unfortunately. But so you definitely got to make sure you're protected that way too.
Right, and then it's just, there's a time and place for everything. Be cautious sometimes of what you say, but speak your mind.
Exactly. I think that's regardless of where you are in life, if you're cosplayer or not cosplayer, but be respectful, but still, I mean, have your opinions. That's the only way we learn anything.
Right, a debate
As
versus
people,
an argument, pretty much, and you're still friends at
right,
the end of the day. That's still amazing.
right. So I mean, that's is another thing I'd like to say though is I've met some really great people through cosplaying, and these are people I probably never would have met if it hadn't been for the fact that we were all at the same convention and they would happen to be a character I thought was really well done or interested in to begin with, and or they saw me doing my Jack thing. And
Right, and sometimes would you agree with what some people will be so intimidated because your presence is so strong as being a character, they think like your cosplay so amazing when you think it's not. And it's just like they see that you're just out there, you're doing what you want to do. Don't be intimidated. There's some people that are like, I wish people would come up and talk to me. Like straight up, I wish people would not be afraid of me. They always say I'm so intimidated because my energy is so out there, but people are just not used to that. It's like, no, go up, talk to a stranger. Exactly. It isn't a stranger danger unless somebody's being very inappropriate, then exit stage left real quick or go get somebody to be around you regardless. And in cases too where men, women of all ages, or women, men, I'll say it both ways, be respectful to others, but there'll be times where if you feel super uncomfortable in the conventions, go grab a stranger, but go to a group and like, hey, hey, I don't feel really super comfortable, make sure, don't go like to con ops or something. Well, yes, go to con ops, but like feel like if you're not feeling okay with some people around you, go and like just grab somebody or just security or just be like, hey, just keep yourself safe.
Exactly. Yes, that's
and so many stories.
You always have to be careful.
So many stories I've heard, so many people being afraid. I'm just like, don't feel afraid. You're around people that do all the same stuff, doesn't mean that everybody's going to be the same.
Exactly.
And then anything else as advice that you could give before we go ahead and move into more of like your social medias and other things that you've done, a part of charity stuff?
I'm sure after this I probably think of a dozen of them, but at the moment I can't really think of a lot of it. Probably would be on the various like Facebook pages and whatnot. I'm really bad about doing the social media thing. I do.
You're not the only one that says that. So many people have said, I'm so bad about uploading, but at the same time, it's like, guys, people do have a life.
Exactly. So, like, I know a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but I do know some people that have, like, a team almost that posts stuff for them, and that. I'm like, that's great, but
teams help a lot.
I'm doing it myself, so sometimes I'm like, you know what, I was there, I don't give a fuck about putting the pictures up now because I was there doing it. So, but I have to try to remember to go ahead and post pictures and whatnot.
Right. And it feels like it's becoming more work. Take a moment, step back, enjoy the moment. Don't worry about it. Just spur of the moment.
Exactly.
Go ahead and do it.
That's it, exactly, yes.
Yeah. It's just do everything that you like except murder.
Precisely.
Like
that one they shy away from, so they don't like that one.
No, they really don't for some reason. I mean, back in the old days, it was for glory, for redemption, for land, for the booty.
always booty, mate. Always.
Oh man, but yeah, for the social medias, where can people reach you at?
You can find me at, I believe it's Planet Comic Con Captain Jack, or Captain Jack at Planet Comic Con. Those words are in there somewhere. And you can find me there, or you could find me at the 1134 Cinema channel.
On YouTube?
Facebook page.
Facebook.
Right, or YouTube. I've tried to link it to make it easy for people to find me if they're interested.
I'll make sure everything is in the description for that. Is there any preference of shopping sites that you technically check? Don't even say like Wish is a bad one. Like any site can work. for anything. Do you have any advice on where people can look?
I do a lot of my looking at, check Amazon a lot, depending on what I'm looking for. The Joanne, I check their website, but most of the time I've got to go in there and actually see it and feel the material to see if it's going to work for what I need.
Thrift stores and stuff like that.
Thrift stores, yes. Just you never know when you're going to find something you need.
And at the same time, it might be like, oh, I don't have the money at the time. So, like, save up your money, folks.
Exactly.
The $20 could mean a whole lot different at the time of when you needed it.
Exactly.
And then any other social links, charity stuff you were talking about, your all the other links you could actually tell people what you've done or are a part of?
I don't think there's anything else that I haven't
included already.
It would be available through the Facebook pages or something.
All right, then. Thank you for coming up here on the interview, Captain. I'm just like, wait, I'm kind of going dead, brain dead right now. So thank you so much for coming up on here, Sean.
Take it easy, man.
I mean, Shane. I said Sean.
I don't respond to hey you, so.
Hey you. Hey there. How you doing? So other than that, guys, go ahead and check out the links down below in the description once this video is up and loaded. It might take a minute or two to get them all in there, but make sure to get it all done. Other than that, Ayler Solora signing out, and...
Take it easy, Mike.
Alright. Have a goodie, everyone. I'm just trying to get the thing to go. Wee! OBS, let's go!